Hello Bookwolves, Cam here, and today I'm here with another writing tip video. Today I'll be instructing you on the ways of writing a villain. Are you ready to learn?
Let's begin.
You come to me on this the day of my daughter's wedding, and you ask me to help you write a villain.
Yeah, I can do that. Getting straight into it, my first tip for you in writing your villain is bad guys deserve character development too. As we all know, in any good book, TV show, movie, video game, pretty much any platform or medium, the hero and the villain can make or break the story. So it just goes to show that your villain will deserve just as much, if not more in some cases, character development, so that you understand what I'm talking about. To narrow it down, I'm talking specifically about giving the villain a motive and a reason for being the bad guy, and that's something you want to establish from the start, the very start, even if your reader doesn't know yet. That's because all of the negative stuff that happens in the book has to be a result of that villain's motive or their actions. I've read a lot of stories with obviously a lot of bad guys, and I've found that the villains I get most attached to are the ones that I even empathize with a little bit. Don't get me wrong, at the end of the day you always want your reader to want the villain to lose, but you kind of want to at least a little bit feel where they're coming from and understand why they're doing the things they're doing. Number 2, and this is something I haven't seen done a lot, thank God, but try not to make your villain a body or organization or race of monster incarnate just because you want to give the bad guy, the main antagonist, needs to have a face. There needs to be one big bad guy at least that your hero needs to go up against in the end. This will make the fight seem a lot more personal, a lot more dangerous, and it will make the stakes feel a bit higher. And honestly, it'll just feel a bit more engaging for the reader. Like, think about Resident Evil series. The bad guys are pretty much the Umbrella Corporation, but then you've got Wesker, the main bad guy that you always had you always have the hero going up against in the end. So some of the stories that I've read that annoyed the living out of me were stories where you didn't really hear anything or see anything of the main villain right until the very end. You would just have the hero or some wise person or other character talking about the villain and their intentions, but you don't really see much of an impact of the main villain. You only get the henchman through the entire book. And that's not okay, man. That's lazy. You want the villain to show up in some way at segments consistently throughout the book. Even if you don't see the villain themselves, if you're trying to save it as a twist or something, they need to be doing something that impacts the storyline and has consequences on the hero. That brings me to my next point 4, which is give the bad guy a victory, or maybe a few little victories. There needs to be points where the hero is pretty much at their lowest, and the best way to do that is to put the antagonist or the villain at their highest. Number 5, just as you're getting towards the end, you want to give the reader one big reminder as to why they hate the fucking asshole that you're about to beat down. The villain has to do something really bad that really just gets the tension going and the blood pumping, something that makes you want this person to go down, and you want them to go down hard. You need something big that is going to bring the fury right before the last fight. Number 6, and my last one, would be after the villain's defeated, you want there to be some kind of noticeable impact on the hero and the rest of their life as a result of that villain, and I want that impact to be a positive impact. They have to take something away from that battle and that whole experience that is going to help them positively going forward. This is how you make your story meaningful and how you make it consequential to the hero. Like, what I mean is, you don't want to have a story where they finish the fight and everything's back to exactly the way it was before. Like, it's just boring, and to be honest with you, it would piss me the off as a reader. It's like in movies, you know, those real arsehole movies, like for example Click with Adam Sandler. It's like where they go through this massive experience and you're like, damn, that was a pretty good movie. And then right at the very end, they wake up from a dream, or something happens that basically makes the whole movie meaningless. Twilight. Anyway, to summarize, I hope those tips help. Basically, if you take anything away from this video, it's just to make your villain not just a bad motherfucker, but an interesting bad motherfucker. Give he, she, or it some complexity, even if it's like a monster that was created in a laboratory. Give it a reason for its evilness, even if that reason is that it was created for evil. That is a reason. There needs to be some consistency. You might think that there are villains without consistency, but I dispute that. Even villains as chaotic as the Joker, he is consistent in his chaoticness. Chaoticness, is that a word? He is consistent in his chaos and his unpredictability. He is consistently unpredictable. Like, you wouldn't see the Joker doing something predictable, and it's in that he is consistent. You want to evoke as much emotion in the reader towards the villain as well as the hero. You want them to love the hero, hate the villain, and those feelings need to be really powerful on both sides. One of the greatest examples I've seen of villains was in a movie, and it's a movie that I'm sure you know, because this movie managed to put together 7 villains. 7? Yeah, 7. And even though they were only there for a little bit, they each got their own little backstory, and you felt like you knew them in a way. The movie I'm talking about is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and if you haven't seen that, do yourself a favor and go see that.
What was that all about?
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
7 evil ex-boyfriends, and you know the backstory of each and every one. Even if they're just small, kind of meaningless backstories, they are backstories, and that was done well. As always guys, thanks for watching. If this video helped you even a little bit, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, then join the Wolfpack and give me a subscribe. You can ask me any questions via my Tumblr, Twitter, or Goodreads, and all my other social media links are below as well. I've got lots more videos to come in future, so make sure you stick around, and I will catch you later.